Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Beauty Outlaw. I'm excited today to bring you my second chapter and episode in Esthetician Diaries. I love an esthetician. You've got to know that because I started out my career as an esthetician and still practice that way. So today, I'm super excited to bring to you an esthetician of 17 years. Her name is Leanne. She's right here in Southern California. She came highly recommended by others in the industry. I met her for the first time today. And welcome, Leanne, to the Beauty Outlaw podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I know it's a little much because you've never been in front of the spotlight like you told me. You've never done anything like this.
Never.
I don't want you to be uncomfortable. I want you to feel like, you know, we'll be really good friends after this is over too, by the way.
Oh, good.
So I want you to feel comfortable. And the first thing I'd like you to do is share a little bit about Leanne. What got you into this industry and how long have you been in it?
Yeah. So I've been an esthetician for 17 years. My mom does nails, and she started doing nails when I was a little girl, probably 10, I would say. And it started with me going with her to beauty school, and she would practice on us and practice on her nails. And I just loved being in the salon. I loved being around all the products and all the people. And then I started to work in her salon as I got older and assist in doing the desk. And then I just clearly remember meeting the esthetician at her work. And she had this beautiful porcelain skin. And I was probably 13 or 14 at the time. And I remember I asked her, like, how is your skin so perfect? Like, what do you do? And she just said, just years of being an esthetician and learning how to take care of my skin. And that was when I was like, I'm going to be an esthetician. And I just decided.
At 13 years old.
And I went to fashion school after high school, and I liked it, but I always loved the beauty industry. I love all products. I love researching products. I love just seeing what's popular here. I love researching Korea, like what's going on there. I just was always into it. So then I went to beauty school at the Paul Mitchell Skin Academy, and I just fell in love. And that's it. And I've been working ever since.
So Paul Mitchell, real quick, they're still around too.
Yes.
They still have their school. Was it just an esthetician school or did you do the whole cosmetology
Just
program?
the esthetician, Skin Academy.
Academy.
Yeah, so it was just skin.
And how long ago was this?
17 years ago. Yeah.
So you were
time.
young.
I know,
You were
yeah.
young when you
Yeah.
knew what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
You wanted to get into it for skincare,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
What did you do during that time after you got out?
Well, I remember I was looking for places to work, and I went and I found a little spa in Newport right away. And it just was one lady, and I worked as her assistant, and it was just very chaotic and a little disheveled. And it was like, oh no, what did I just get into? And then, so I stopped working there, and then I found a salon in Laguna Beach, and I fell in love. And I loved working in a hair salon with all the hairdressers, and I was the only esthetician, and they had a nail tech.
That's a good spot to
It was
be in.
fun. Yeah, and I worked there for a long time. I want to say 12 years, 13 years I worked, and I loved it. I loved being around all the people. I loved all the products. I just loved being in the salon life. And then I moved on to the medical aesthetics after that. And now that's where I am now at EB Medical.
How long ago was that you transitioned?
About a year and a half ago. New. Yeah, new to the medical aesthetics. I always, when we were working at my spa in Laguna, we did have a doctor come in, and we used his license, so we were able to do like skin pen, we were able to do the VIPL, stuff like that, very just moderate aesthetics, medical aesthetics. And then when I left there, I moved on to a medical spa, and we kind of have more options there. More fun.
More fun.
Yeah.
So the medical aesthetics portion, did you feel like you needed to transition there, or is it something you just wanted to try and do different?
Yeah, I've always loved it. I just feel like it's more results driven. I felt like as excited about like a fluff facial. I wanted to more give people results and know what I'm doing for them is really going to change their skin with time. It's going to help them improve, whether it's melasma or acne scars or whatever it was that they were looking to help. I felt like you could get more results from the products I was able to provide and use on them in the medical aesthetics.
Were you finding it was hard to retain? This might be a really loaded question.
Sure.
But I think if you get out of yourself and look in it, because there's other estheticians that may feel this way, do you feel like you were, with the clientele we have, as an esthetician practicing in our scope of practice, do you feel like the transition had to happen, that you had to move into medical aesthetics?
Yeah. I felt like you kind of plateau kind of in the, just a basic esthetician. It's wonderful and it's fun and it's so exciting.
It's the best.
It's everything is wonderful, but I felt like I wanted more. I wanted to learn more. I wanted to be trained under more. I wanted to learn new things. And I felt like it was just time to do the next step, if that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
I love that you really built the basics of skincare foundation for 12 years, you said, before you transitioned over into the medical space, which makes you a very valued player in that space. As a medical clinic and spa myself and an esthetician, you're always looking for someone with that time on skin.
Yeah.
Like they've had that time, they understand it, and then transition them into your med spa workspace.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we don't see a lot of that. So you're a very valued asset to the industry. And what I'd love to hear from you, were you completely independent or have you always done a commission? Did you pay booth rent? How did you function?
I have always functioned as commission. I enjoy that. I enjoy just showing up and doing what I need to do. I have toyed with in the next few years doing a rental position, but I just really like having the opportunity to just come in and do the skin and just do what I need to do and not have to worry about, what you have to worry about for rental, So I've been really happy with working as a commission esthetician.
I think that's really great. You really know where because you're passionate about what you do, it sounds like.
I love it.
And you love that. And you don't want to go home with all that other stuff. You just want to go and make people beautiful and use all your experience, which you have a lot of.
Yes, yeah.
Can you share and you don't have to be share your own, but can you share a little bit about what commission typically looks like in the industry of an esthetician right now working in a med spa?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know there are some people you can get like 50% of whatever your sales are. So if you have a facial, you get 50% of that plus a tip. Some other estheticians get 50% plus hourly and then the tip, or it can go down to like 20, 25%, depending where you work. And then you can get 8 to 10% of commission on your sales of product as well. So you can make a pretty good chunk of change. And obviously with medical aesthetics, your price per facial is a lot higher. And your time in the treatment room is sometimes a lot less than like a 90-minute facial or something. It could be like a 30 to 45 minute.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It
with a higher
kind of
price
cuts
point.
it in half a little bit with your time. You're right. Because in a facial, you're there for a lot longer. You're doing a lot more holistic healing, I think.
Yeah.
Where in medical aesthetics, if you'd agree with me, I'm not sure how you practice, but you kind of get to the point of the service of what the patient's asking for. And
Less fluff.
Less fluff.
Less fluff. Yeah.
In a time where we might need a little more fluff every now and then. Do you do added services for that? Like if somebody wants that time?
Yeah, we can do I do have clients who say, oh, can you do a little extra massage or I need a little lymphatic drainage today. We are starting to do scalp treatments, which is a huge trend, which I'm so excited about. I really love these scalp treatments that are coming. So those are all added experiences. We can do dermaplaning, which is an add-on. red light. That's not necessarily like a fluff treatment, but it is just an added time.
Well, it is if you're rubbing their feet at the
Yes.
same time.
Yes, you can do the
That's
foot
what
massage, hand massage. Some people just, and you get to know your clients. Some people really love the massage and they really want it. And other people want to chat and they want to just get the nitty gritty done and then on the way to pick up the kids or do whatever they need to do, right? So you get to know people and what they need and what they want. And you start to know your clients. And some clients want to be quiet and just have some massage. And you can learn, the best way to handle the experience for everyone.
That's an emotional empath skill that you have. You can't bottle that up. You don't learn that in esthetician school or nursing school. You learn that, I think, just by your being.
Right.
And the fact that you mentioned that shows that you have that empath to read the patient. There is really beauty in estheticians. And it's one thing as a nurse who practices skincare all day long and an esthetician, the missing link in what's happening right now in medical aesthetics and clinics and spas is the lack of education and knowledge. And I might make a lot of nurses mad right now. Their knowledge in aesthetics.
Yeah.
If they've had time in the hospital, they do have that empath part, but they don't have the knowledge and skill of you've got lots of experience esthetician. And we need to hear from more of you.
Yeah.
What is your signature treatment that you love to do and you get requested to do?
Oh, I've been loving the Diamond Glow recently, the Diamond Glow treatment with a dermaplane. I feel like you just get great results from that.
Can you explain that to
Yeah,
viewers?
sure.
That
A
don't-
Diamond Glow is it's an Allergan facial. So it's a machine. It's very similar to the hydrofacial, but instead of using the liquid, it's a diamond tip. And then it also used the medical grade serum. So you can make it for whatever their needs are. So if they need treatment for even and correct their skin, you can add that. Or if they need more moisture, you can just really personalize it. And I just really like that you can really pinpoint what they're getting for all different parts of the face. You can switch it up and change it. And it's just really personalized. And I like the results. Anything Allergan, I feel like you get great results.
Is that something when we're talking about scope of practice
Yeah.
and being a esthetician with your own practice alone without working for a physician or a med spa, is a Diamond Glow facial something you can do solo? Is it something you could purchase solo? Or does it have to be done under a med spa?
I believe you have to have a med spa license to use
Okay.
it. I could be wrong, but I haven't seen it at anything but a medical spa.
Okay. I feel like I'm going to look into that.
Yeah, 'cause I'm
because I
curious.
really think it's something an esthetician should legally be allowed to do. She's licensed. I know the machine.
Yeah.
And now you're licensed to dermaplane as of 2023, about, 30 years late. One of the reasons I went to nursing school years ago was to actually perform dermaplaning.
It's
Because
amazing.
we weren't allowed to do it.
Yeah.
And I needed a license to do that. So now you're licensed to dermaplane, and the machine, the
The Diamond Glow.
Diamond Glow.
Yes.
The Diamond Glow machine
Yeah.
comes in with different companies and different modalities. And I think in the hands of an esthetician legally, and I will find out by the time this podcast airs, you will know as an esthetician if you can move on solo, if you have a solo practice or you want to get it, you'll know if this is okay in your scope to do. Because I personally feel like it is, but I'm going to find out for everyone.
Yeah, because I don't think it's really affecting the lower layers. It's
You're
just
not
the derm-
penetrating
no.
living tissue.
Yep.
You're doing more probably with your dermaplane.
Yes, you get better results. Yeah.
The dermaplane is maybe popping
Yeah.
the Diamond Glow.
Yeah.
So you weren't doing that when you were at your other spa.
Yeah.
And does the company or the place you work for, do they supply all the products?
Yes.
Is that how that works?
Yep. They supply everything. So I'm able to just come in and I get trained by the products, by the
Wonderful.
by who, whatever company it is that we're using, we're providing, whether it be like a peel or the machines, the modalities. They come in and train me, and then I get the knowledge, and it's all provided by my employer.
And I assume are you an employee, W-2? You're a W-2, not a 1099.
Yes. No.
Okay, so you're a W-2.
No, 1099. I actually,
1099.
yes,
Okay,
that's
so you have
correct.
to file your own
Yes.
C schedule.
Yes.
So on your taxes, you're independent contractor.
Independent, yes.
Which is fantastic, as I'm going to keep sharing to the estheticians and also nurses and aesthetics. As a nurse, you are not allowed to function that way in California. You are not allowed to receive commissions in this state. You must receive a paycheck from your physician that you work for. Commissions are illegal. But as an esthetician, you are allowed to practice this way as an independent contractor doing these services. Which is beautiful. So for you nurses out there, it might be a good idea for you to go to esthetician school, and that way you can function independently with these processes and these signature facials that are very popular right now, because right now you can't function that way in California. But I love an esthetician because it gives you the ability to have your own business and practice independently in a med spa.
Yes. Yeah.
With the protection of safety.
Yes.
Is that what you like about that? Like you've got some protocols in place?
Absolutely. And they abide by all the rules. And I feel like everything is safe and clean. And we're doing everything we need to do to protect the clients and provide a clean atmosphere to get good results and get a nice facial and get the look you want. Yeah.
And also, as you don't have to go through a good faith exam with your patient if they come in off the street, right?
Right. No. Yeah.
That's another wonderful thing. As a nurse, you need to do that.
Okay.
As a nurse, you have to make sure the patient is qualified for the procedure. So the patient must go through a good faith exam if they come into your facility or your medical spa and clinic that you own. But the beauty of being an esthetician is that you have gone to your schooling, you can assess those situations, and you are allowed within your scope of practice to do these wonderful things.
Absolutely. There's
I
so
love that
much
you've
to
made this
offer.
choice.
Yes, me too.
It's great for you. I love that.
Thank you.
I think 50% commission.
Yeah.
It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah,
And they supply everything.
It's ranges. So it can go up to 50%.
Okay.
So that you can all change wherever you're working. So
How much you work is there's scale.
Yes. And I have worked at other spas where they do provide 50%, but then it's also not as lucrative as price points, if that makes sense.
It does.
So the higher the price point, sometimes you get a lower commission just because I think it costs more for the spa to provide these products as well. So they have to take more to be able to afford the stuff that they're providing for the clients as well.
If you had any wisdom to give the new girls. estheticians,
Yes.
what would you tell them to do? How do they start?
I would say start at somewhere like Burke Williams or something, and they train you. They give you a lot of extra training outside of school so you can learn lots of because a lot of times you get hired in these places like a spa or salon and they just say, here you go, here's your books. And you're like, oh, I just learned, the basics, or like back when we had to take the physical test, it was like, which light bulb you use the esthetician test was so like, you don't even use what you learned in the treatment room. So then you go out and you're really on your own and it's like not even what you learned in school. So I highly recommend going to a place that provides additional training, maybe for the first few months or a year even when you have your license. And it also gives you a little room to explore and be like, ooh, I won't do that again, or ooh, that didn't turn out good. And you can kind of get your bearings and then go a little more on your own, because I think that's really helpful. Because some people I've noticed, they come out of school and then they just go straight into a job. And sometimes it could be really overwhelming and scary because you'll get all these clients on your books and you have to think. And a lot of times you might have just read about it. You've never actually physically seen, some type of skin condition, or you've read about it. And then you're like, oh, what do I use? This person's here and I don't know. So it's nice to have somewhere where they offer a little support And then you feel more confident when you're treating and you're by yourself and it's your name that you're building. You can work under a different scope and learn more outside of school.
That's great
Yeah,
advice.
I
It
like
really
that.
is.
Yeah.
It really is. It's because a lot of estheticians, well, they're all ages now.
Yeah.
Everybody goes back now. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. You're not 18 anymore. You're 40. You're
Yeah.
60. It's a fabulous field to be in and so exciting. And it's been highlighted everywhere in social media.
It's big trends.
Big
TikTok.
trends.
Yeah.
TikTok
Yeah.
trends. One of my favorite trends that drove me crazy was the Aquaphor, the slugging.
Oh.
Do you remember that trend?
And I remember in school being told, like, that's so occlusive. Don't put that on your face. And I hear these people like putting it all over their faces. And you're like, wait, this is not, you should not do this.
You should
And
not
you
do
get-
this.
Yeah.
It's
especially by
petroleum
the
as
eyes.
well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then they come in with Amelia and you're like, well, you don't put petroleum by your
No.
Yeah.
There's a place for Aquaphor.
Yes. Yeah.
I love me some Aquaphor,
Yeah.
but it's for a barrier.
Yes.
It's
peels
temporary.
even. Yes.
Be
After a
careful
big
with the
major.
trends, people.
Yes.
Be careful
And
with the trends.
all these TikTok skincare. That's what I've noticed as well with the tweens that come in and they have the acne. And then they're saying, oh, I don't know. And they have a long list of all these products they're using. And it's inappropriate for their skin type and their age even. And then it's trying to tell them just to go down to like the basics. And it's like, but they have literally this whole list
They
of.
call them something.
I know. I don't even know.
Where do they go shopping? Where's
Sephora?
Sephora?
Oh, yeah.
Like Sephora tweens
Yeah.
or
Oh, it's a
something.
huge. It's a huge thing right now. I've noticed it's huge, and then they're buying them for their parents. You know, a lot of my clients will come in and say, "I don't know, my daughter just bought me this product, and they're using it, and it's good product."
Hi, everybody. This episode is sponsored by Pretty Girl Cosmeceuticals. These products are the best. If you're not using them, you need to use them. You can contact JKH Aesthetics anytime, and we will give you a consultation about how to use these amazing products. We have Glow Girl and Ice Drops. These will keep you young, healthy, and glowing every day of the week. And now, back to the episode.
First
so
of all,
bizarre to hear
how
the
is a
teens.
tween
Yeah,
buying their parents' product?
Yeah.
What job do they have?
I
Is
know.
it-
It's a bizarre phenomenon right now. The tweens are really eating up a lot of knowledge on skincare. Yeah, so it is
Skincare.
a trend.
Which is where I've noticed medical aesthetics headed. Medical aesthetics, things have changed. It seems to be a slight bit of a recession.
Okay.
In the aesthetics industry, injectables were down third and fourth quarter of this last year. So that gives us a sign that something's happening, at least in my industry, there's been a change. And since then, I have noticed a difference in the highlighting of skincare procedures on aesthetic websites. And also that may be coming from what they're seeing with the tweens, getting ahead of the game a bit because they're so interested in skincare because of TikTok.
Yeah.
Do you participate in TikTok at all or social media?
You know,
do you dabble?
I feel so old sometimes because I don't have TikTok, and I'm like, but I hear from my niece and I hear from my clients, and I see they send me stories, and I love Instagram. I do watch a lot of YouTube videos on skincare and the trends and stuff. I haven't been too involved in the TikTok. I just hear it.
Yeah.
The trends.
You're
and
not as
stuff.
active.
No. Yeah, I'm not as active. I do like to follow up for my own knowledge, like what it is, what's the brands they're all into, and then I research the brands and I research what's making these so popular. Like, what is the excitement on these brands? You know, because it is like
You're not spending all your time on TikTok
No.
and Instagram. You're actually finding out what's
Yes.
great for your patient's
yes,
skin.
and what from that line that could be helpful, and what to really avoid at all different ages. You know, because there's certain teens that are using like products that are not made for
Their skin.
the youthful skin. Yeah.
Youthful skin.
So you can do more damage than good.
So Instagram and TikTok is a it's a good thing and a bad thing.
Right. it's it's a double-edged sword, and you could be led down a road that you don't know how much they're doing as well besides the one product. So their skin looks beautiful and glowy, but they're getting, medical grade treatments, and that could be more of the reasoning.
And people value the number of followers others have.
Yeah.
Which I know from being in this industry many, many years, as you, that's sometimes false.
Yeah.
What you're seeing is false.
Yes.
Not all the time.
Yeah.
But most of the time, these are not people that practice in the industry that they're in.
Right.
They're more of an influencer with a license to put their status or whatever their licensure is on Instagram. They gain followers or purchase them, and then they become the leader and the spokesperson for that procedure.
Correct.
And that's one reason why I wanted this platform is there is so much more to talk about than in a 30-second reel.
Right.
There is so much more to someone. And when you're a patient or a consumer, you need to do that research. And I think right now, podcasts may change as they get saturated. They can also be influenced by fakeness. But right now, we don't have that issue in podcast world. Right now, we're getting valuable information from them. And that's why I want to thank you for coming on and giving that valuable information.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Now I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
All right. So I noticed in the last decade, there's a term that we're using in aesthetics for estheticians. And it's called Esty.
Uh-huh.
Do you think it should stay or go?
Go. I feel like I want to be an esthetician. I worked for that. I feel like I'm an esthetician. I feel like Esty's kind of like it's a shortened term, and I just feel like it doesn't give that, name,
it doesn't level
the vibe.
you up.
Yeah.
It doesn't level it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't level it up.
And I think it doesn't sound as
Professional?
Yes, absolutely. That's what I was saying.
As a skin therapist?
Yes, skin therapist, esthetician. It just is more. It sounds more refined and
Sounds more TikTok.
yes,
More Instagram.
yes.
Thank you for sharing that because I'm glad you shared that with us
Yeah.
because I've been feeling the same way. It's
Right.
cute. It's fun.
Buzzword.
It's a buzzword.
Yeah.
It's fun to say when you go to school, my Esty friends.
Yes.
I understand all that.
Yes, yeah.
But if you're a professional, I just feel like you really sacrificed a lot to get that license.
Yeah.
And you deserve to level up
Right.
a little bit.
And be on the same level as the nurses, and we
Well,
have a lot
you
of knowledge.
guys, estheticians are on a different level than RNs and physician's assistants that are performing these procedures unless they actually have an esthetician license, because you guys actually have some foundation in skin,
Yeah.
at least a little more. I think you had a little more excitement to get into the industry to begin with.
Yeah.
In aesthetics, it's more injectables. Then they transition into, I'll do some skincare.
Yeah.
But with an esthetician, you are really driven towards the world of beauty.
Right.
Now,
Yes.
with that beauty word, do you do waxing?
I used to do waxing. I used to do a lot of waxing, and I'm not a fan of it. I don't miss it. I do a little brow waxing here and there and lip waxing at my medical spa, but like very rare. But I feel like it was just very traumatizing on the skin. And I feel like dermaplaning, you can do a lot. It's harder with the brows to give it some shape. But so we do brow waxing occasionally for clients. But I did do waxing, and I don't anymore.
More.
Yeah. I've been there, done that. But I know some people love it. That's like what they want to do all day long.
And there are people that are very good at that.
Yes, it's hard. It's not easy.
It's not easy.
No, and it's physically not easy. I'm a short girl, and sometimes you have to really put your body into it, and you can feel sore at the end of the day. And it's a lot of physical work as well.
It's transitioning, right? From
full
the
leg.
facial
Yeah.
to the waxing. Waxing is more of a it's not torture. It's
No.
just not a, it's
not
not
calming.
calming.
Yeah, the vibe's different.
The vibe's different. And it's not really focused on skin, although it can be
Right.
afterwards.
Right.
But you mentioned something earlier when we were talking about the new esthetician and going in and starting at a new location and finding what you love to do.
Yeah.
Because we have so many options. And finding that, whether it's educating, whether it's working for a skincare company, whether it's starting your own line, whether it's waxing,
Right.
Tattooing, lashing,
Right.
at facials. I mean,
So
we
many.
are so lucky with what we're allowed to do. Spray tanning. I mean, it just goes on and on.
You could do back facials, body facials, the lymphatic drainage massage. You have so many options. And I do know so many people go into aesthetics and they think, oh, I'm just going to do waxing, or I'm just going to, and then they end up loving some other part. Or they can start, take a class on another thing, like doing lashes, and then end up hating it.
Yes.
Because it's so tedious. So it's so different. So that's why I really think to work somewhere where you have a big scope, you're not just doing waxing, just doing facials. You kind of get a little taste of everything. And then once you find what really excites you and what you just want to know more about, that's when you tap into that and you maybe find a salon that really just, or start your own little suite or whatever. That's what you want to do. And that's when you get excited and you just get very passionate, and the people will come. They'll feel your passion. They'll feel your energy.
They will.
And they'll see your knowledge, and they'll just want to come to you because they'll know you love what you do. And it comes off. It shows if you really
Honing
like
a
it.
skill.
Yes.
In a licensure, especially in California.
Yeah.
In other states, they allow other things.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a whole nother topic. If you're listening from another state,
Yes.
other states are allowed to do other things.
Arizona.
That's changing.
Yeah.
There's some regulations in place to, I don't know if they're cracking down, whatever they're doing. In California, we handle things differently here. So as an esthetician, you have all these amazing, beautiful options, whether it be tanning, all the things we talked about.
Yeah.
And then you can go somewhere and kind of practice your license and see what you feel inspires you, like you.
Yeah, what
It
you're
was
drawn
skin.
to. Yeah. I love the skin health. I love learning the products and the ingredients. And it's kind of like science, you kind of know what works and you can see, and seeing people's results. That's what made me the happiest. And, I did other things for a long time, like the waxing I did for a long time. I did lashes for a long time. Tinting of the brows. And I liked it. I loved it. But I really just loved the medical aesthetics and just the skincare and seeing people's skin change. And it's life-changing. Somebody's really, self-conscious about something and you help them. Like it feels so good.
It does.
It really feels good.
Feels good to help people
And you
like
feel
that.
like, yay, I got it right. I picked the right combo. So it is really, really rewarding.
It is a rewarding career and industry.
Yeah.
So I'm going to back up a few years into COVID.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if that was part of your transition. What happened during COVID for you?
Actually, it was an odd time for me because I had an accident and I broke my neck. And
my
so
goodness.
I stopped working and then COVID hit. So it was like I was already not working.
It was okay for you because it
So
stalled.
it didn't, yes. So I was already in it. And then I had a baby. She's 5 now. She's not my baby anymore. So it was like, it's just a time where in my life, I wasn't going to be working anyway. So
How did you break
didn't
your
have to-
neck?
It's a long story. I was at a concert and somebody jumped off the stage and landed on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys hear that?
Yeah.
Does my son, who's 19,
Yes.
hear that?
Yes, kids. Be careful.
Be careful.
Stand in the back.
Mosh pit.
Yeah. No, I wasn't even. I was just standing there and he jumped off and just landed on top of me. Yeah. So So then I couldn't work for a few months, but then COVID came. And so that's.
Wait. Whose concert was this?
I don't think I can say.
Okay. All right. We won't share that.
I know.
but I understand.
Yeah.
So that's pretty scary.
Yeah. It was scary. And, but then I was so excited to get back into work. And I heard from all my estheticians all my esthetician friends, how much the world changed for aesthetics. And also I knew like a lot of the medical spas were able to open before, like my salon where I worked at was
that was horrible.
Hard.
That was
Took a long
horrible. That was
time.
shameful.
Yeah.
That med spas were allowed to open and do things. My med spa was allowed to open.
Yeah.
My estheticians couldn't work.
Yep.
It was shameful.
Yeah.
And it was wrong.
Yeah.
You weren't really legitimately allowed to go to work
No.
for like 9 months, 10 months.
Yeah. And then even when you could, there was like regulations of how long, or it was, I remember it was a whole, I wasn't working, so I don't know the exact rules, but I remember it was just a whole song and dance.
The hairdressers too was the
Yeah.
same thing with hairdressers.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of other things going on. There was a lot of other things going on. People want their beauty treatments, right?
They got them. Yeah. You can't shut it down. Women they will find you where you are and get them done. Yes, I did hear that.
How do you deal with transition of a client and for another service that
Sure.
you don't handle?
Oh,
Like
I
a
love
Botox
doing that.
or a
I
laser.
love referring them to my nurse and I just get so excited because I know she has more, stronger, different things that she can do that would really help this patient, and I really love sharing. So I usually have either the nurse do a consultation while they're in my treatment room or I ask them to step into their
You're a team
treatment room.
player.
Oh, yeah. I think we all can help each other. And I think if you try and take too much for yourself, that, we all help each other. I think it really helps everyone. You don't want to just hog everything. I think if we all do a little here, a little there, then you get better results and then your clients are happier. So I think it's always good to work well with who you're in your office with. Your treatment.
Does.
Yeah.
It does.
Because we all offer different things.
I like that.
Yeah. There's
like
enough
that.
for everyone. Yeah. We can
like
all,
that.
yeah. Yeah.
I can't believe I'm just meeting you now,
Oh.
actually. We've been so close, but
I know.
yet so far.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And you've been
7
in this
degrees.
industry. Yes.
Yeah.
And you've been in this industry a long time.
Yeah. It's a small industry
And
too.
I love that.
Yeah.
One thing I would ask you too, when we're talking about med spas, how do you feel about more mature women, let's just say my age and older, 50 plus, and using laser?
I've seen some not good results from laser, and I've seen good results. So it can be, I haven't been seeing as much laser recently. I'm trying to think. I don't see as many people using laser now as it was maybe 6-7 years ago. I think it was more, but I do remember seeing some clients that had, some burns if it wasn't done in a proper, it can be
Complications.
Yes, yeah, I've seen that before. So I think it can be done if you're going to the right technician. It's wonderful. I think you get great results, but you just really need to research who you're going to and what talk to maybe somebody who's gone to that person.
It's skin and age appropriate.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Makes your skin appropriate.
Yes.
Very much so. Yeah, I think that sometimes people have this idea of what they want, but sometimes a laser isn't right for your skin type. There's another option,
So many options.
Yeah,
now.
there's wonderful options that aren't as aggressive sometimes even, and you get the same results.
Do you have a crazy complication then? Have you seen a complication that's really just kind of in your years of experience?
Yeah, I've seen like the plaid, like a burn. And you get the melasma. I've seen it on a few patients, not from our spa, but from different spas who've come in and they have scars. I have seen it. So you do have to just be really careful. Or even I've seen the white.
Yes.
So many people with the whites, it's looks like a plaid. Yeah.
yes.
Hypo and hyper.
Right next to each other.
So it's really, really have to be, and you have to do your aftercare too. We can only do so much.
Pre and post care.
Yes. And then you go home and you go outside and sit in the sun, you just ruin
A
it all.
great med spa
Yeah.
will have, or at least have access to, an outside esthetician that can handle pre and post op.
Absolutely.
And if they don't have that, I might question that facility, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
You need to have that just getting a sheet of paper is not enough.
Right.
You have to be able to have access to someone that understands and can handhold and manage pre and post care.
Yeah.
To make sure you have a successful outcome.
Right. Because you can only do so much in the treatment room, and then you let them out, and you have to make sure, and if they have questions, they need to be able to call you or come see you or touch
An
base.
esthetician is their primary care provider.
Absolutely.
You have to look at an esthetician as they are your primary care provider, just like you have in medicine.
Yeah.
And they're going to guide you. Usually they have resources to send you to, and they have your best interest at stake, because they're looking at your skin, and then they send you off to someone that can care for it in a more advanced way, like you said.
Yeah.
And then they're there to do the hand holding.
Right.
And it's a beautiful relationship when they work together.
You can
and it
piggyback.
sounds like you have that now.
Yeah.
Which
absolutely.
is great.
Yeah.
You have access to that.
Yeah. I think it really helps because we piggyback off each other, and you really can make a treatment better. Botox can be stronger with, some other treatments. You can really just make everything work better,
The world
as a
of
team.
aesthetics is most
Yeah.
likely icing on the cake for
Yes.
the skin.
Yes. Gives you that glow. Yeah.
The skin is foundation.
Yeah.
And everything else is icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Any crazy stories?
Well,
Have you had like a crazy patient? We don't even have to crazy situation.
I'm trying to think. The worst situation I remember when I first got out of beauty schools, I remember I was dyeing a lady's lashes, and I forgot to put the Vaseline around it, and then so I put all the dye on, and then I tried to wipe it off, and I remember it was stained like all around her, and I was looking, and I'm like, oh. I didn't know what to do. And I remember that was probably my most traumatizing thing I did but from that day on, I always knew you have to and even when I'm training other people, I make eye contact, I'm like, put the Vaseline, don't forget the Vaseline.
barrier.
Yes, the barrier cream. Put it on, otherwise that dye will be on there for days.
They'll look like they're football players.
Yes.
With the
Yes, it will be all over.
That's pretty funny.
So
that's pretty funny.
was, and I do think being a new esthetician, you are going to make some mistakes, and be kind to yourself and give yourself grace, and you learn by working.
You learn by working.
Yeah.
And also, this is my big thing, especially with estheticians, is they're so isolated in their little rooms.
Yeah.
They're private little rooms
Yeah.
that they tend not to be as, which Esty Besties, that name is really great because it actually brings estheticians together.
Yeah.
They're so isolated that you have your people
Yeah.
and your team members,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
have
you
people
have
you
to.
can go to.
Yeah. And you chat and you touch base on, what works, what doesn't. Or have you done this and is the machine doing this to you? How do you fix it? Or how do you get better results? And they tell you a little trick they do. So it's always nice to chat with another esthetician and kind of give, bounce off each other and help grow. Because I think that's how you learn too, is just discussing with other people what they're doing.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And not being isolated
Yes.
on an island
No.
by yourself.
And don't be afraid to go to other people, because some people are like, oh, they don't want to share, hoard their
Information.
Yes. I have worked with estheticians that are like that. And I think it's very sad because we can all help each other.
Mentorship.
Yeah. And you're not trying to take their specialties. You're just helping each other. You can give little tidbits, and I think that's really great. If you're a new esthetician, to find people you can work with and communicate with and learn from that are open.
That's so
Because it makes it a little
kind
more
of you.
welcoming. Yeah.
That's so kind.
Yeah.
Do you, or have you thought about being that mentor to people?
Yeah. I love teaching what I love. I love aesthetics, and I get so excited about skincare.
Yeah.
So I like talking with other people that are new and excited about it as well. So yes.
So
I
like
would-
having other estheticians
Yeah.
come and maybe shadow you
Oh,
and things
yes.
like that?
Yes.
Because that's really big right now in aesthetics, but we don't see that a lot
Yeah.
in our world
Right.
of skincare. So I think you are a great person to do something like that. You also, before we wrap it up, I do know you do have a skincare line.
Yes. Yes. I do.
And it's a holistic, very clean skin care line.
100% natural. Yeah, which is more clean than organic. Yeah, it's as clean as you can get. It's and it works.
And it works.
Yeah, and it works.
That's what we want to see.
Yeah, it's
and
not
she's
harsh.
had years of experience to discuss it.
Yeah.
So if you're really interested, especially in clean,
Yeah.
a clean, dynamic, skin-changing product, we're going to add that to our podcast page.
Thank you,
So
yeah.
people can go to your Instagram. They can go to that Instagram and check out your products.
Yes. Thank you.
Because it's
So
important
passion.
it's a passion, and it's important I value people that have experience and the love for the industry and the give back to the industry. And you just shared 45 minutes with me of yourself, and I'm so grateful. And for so many new estheticians out there, and estheticians of how many? I've been an esthetician since 1987.
Oh, thank goodness. Yeah.
And I learn something from other estheticians every day.
I think that's a big takeaway is I think us estheticians should work together and share knowledge because I think then we all grow.
We all grow.
We all grow.
Whether
We
you're
learn.
doing lashing, right?
Yeah.
Lashing, tanning.
Yeah.
I mean,
We've all have
waxing.
tricks. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We all have little tricks, little things that help. And if you learn that, it's like you grow so much. You know, it's like 10 years of experience. You can learn so much and share, and they can share with you. And I think that would be a good takeaway as a new esthetician to just share and just chat with other estheticians or other people in the same industry.
So put in the chat right now, if you're listening, on the YouTube chat or wherever you're listening, or DM one of us.
Yeah.
This is your esthetician roundtable right here.
Yes.
We are here to support you, answer questions if you're not sure about something. Maybe you're starting in a new spa somewhere.
Right.
And you're not sure if this is nervous.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're not sure if it's the right percentage or whatever that you should go to work for. We need our core people.
Right.
And I have an abundance of estheticians that are willing to help and answer these questions. So thank you so much, Leanne, for being
thank
here.
you. This has been fun.
She's a very special individual. And if I could package her up and bring her here, I will try. We will see what happens.
You never know.
You never know. Anything's possible, right?
Right. You never know.
So thank you, Leanne, for being here. Okay, so at the end of the podcast, we always do this toast because this is to new friendship, a new esthetician and beauty roundtable, and now you are an official beauty outlaw.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you for having me.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
We're just going to chin here, guys. Cheers to the future of what beauty has to offer.
Absolutely. You never know.
You never
Cheers.
know. You never know.
Cheers.